value it dearly because you might not hear it all the time and on all the other radio stations, but you have the opportunity here on 101.5 La Voix FM to hear it, and this is Word, Sound and Power. So this is positive words, this is conscious words, this is healing words, this is edifying words, this is words to comfort you, words to direct you, words to teach you, words to elevate your standard, words to send you a little bit further than where you are. So we asking you to be patient with us tonight. We also would have on the program a little introduction with the Anguilla Chief Minister, Mr. Hughes, who we favor tonight to let St.Martin people know what went on in the jollification. Also was blended into a two-way session. So hereby tonight we would give you that opportunity so you could interact and understand the fullness of what leadership meant, the seriousness of leaders, and what it acquired for a man to declare himself today as a leader. So we would go no further different than to ask the Father for guidance, ask him to protect the conversations also, ask him to guide you also out there where you are sitting and bring fruitful thoughts to you, construct your whole entire being and let it be fruitful as we are here today to serve you. So the topic of tonight would be leadership, their character and their characteristics, the way leaders behave in regard to nation building, the responsibility given to leaders, the whole task that are being upon the shoulders and in the back of leaders. Now, we are in the same term of understanding that we have a majority of different islands and countries in the Caribbean that are different than ours and are structured different than ours. So in reality, the way how these leaders function is not the way how our leaders here function. Another something we have also is majority of some of these leaders around us in our neighboring islands are independent. If not fully independent, yes, they do direct their own country, they do set their own laws, they will set their own standards, they have their own budget. So we in this part where we live, it's a bit different because our leadership here more depends on a more superior leadership that are 8,000 kilometers away from us. That means to say we have a second party leadership functioning. We dependent on an institution that is set and 8,000 kilometers away and expect to make us to function here. So in my little experience around the Caribbean, I have met a lot of leaders and I have seen the simplicity by which these leaders govern. That don't mean to say that in their country they don't get fire. That don't mean that they don't get opposition. That don't mean that the people are not suffering issues. The point is that when we in this Western Hemisphere, especially we who live under the French colonial system as leadership, I in particular begin to question the in-depth of that leadership, seeing that there is nowhere by where we can decide for matters pertaining to us. It is a leadership whereby you have to follow rules, regulation, and documents that is already prepared in France and sent down to us. And if we don't abide by it, then we are being disqualified to govern, to lead, or to direct. In these few words, I set the record, I set the table. I would let the elder give me a little input of his own in regard to leadership, but I would first love to go into in depth with him himself. For as a leader, and not as a popular leader to say that he have a majority of people behind of him. His leadership is of one that is being an outcast, one that is being marginalized, one that is being persecuted, one where people take pleasure into writing any and anything into the papers. And still, this individual, which I call the elder, remain focused, remain steadfast in his mission. So, in regard to matching other leaders, I admire you in your demonstration as a leader. So I will let you take the talk and explain you and yourself, how you feel as being a leader, and what is the qualities that you would like to inject into leadership here. Because a leader having responsibilities over a shepherd is a great task. And having wolves, leopards, and all type of animals that are coming to destroy his flock, he must be a brave, courageous, strong, and determined, grounded leader. Mr. Leopold Jim, you have the word.
Well, thank you very much, and you don't make it necessarily easy for me to speak after you, Jabash. I'm very humbled, I'm very humbled by all the adjectives you use there, and I would like for us to have just a nice little discussion where you can basically get to know who I am, because I believe that when you have a public position as I have, I won't call myself exactly a leader. I didn't go to school to become a leader. I find myself in this position. I think you have to make yourself available to the public in terms of them being able and giving the opportunity to put you to the test.
True.
So I'm here, and when you invited me, I told you, well, I told you that for me, I'm very comfortable. I'm very comfortable being invited to talk basically about what I believe in, and to talk about the work I'm involved in, which is to contribute towards the St.Martin nation building process and the St.Martin unification. And I really believe in what I'm doing, and because I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm very committed to what I'm doing, I never have to know when I'm invited to talk about that. I don't have to know, and I don't want to know what you're going to talk about in particular. I told you that, right?
True.
I always feel very uncomfortable, and that's why I do not do it, because I do not do things that I don't believe in, and nobody can force me to do what I don't believe in. So whenever I'm invited for an interview, I let the person who invites me know I don't want to know what you're going to talk about, right? Because I think I have to come across as genuinely as possible, as unpolished as possible, in the sense of letting the people know exactly who I am, with whatever strengths I might have, and with whatever weaknesses I certainly have. Because I don't believe in basically pretending to be more than you really are. I am who I am, and I'm very satisfied with who I am. I know I still have a long way to go in improving myself, but generally speaking, I'm very satisfied with who I am, and I believe in what I'm doing. I can defend what I'm doing at any occasion, under any set of circumstances. I don't need any preparation. I don't need any support. The biggest support is that I believe in what I'm doing. So I'm here tonight, and I think we should just let it flow. Just let it flow, so that the people can really find out who is this big mouth Leopold now.
Yeah.
Right?
You say
is he for real? Because if I'm not for real, then I think I should draw my conclusions, and the people should draw their conclusions. And whatever those conclusions are, I will accept them, because I am in this position that I am today, which you call leadership position. I never knew I was in school to become a leader of any sort. I found myself in this situation basically because of let's say the lack of people who I felt were more capable to be leaders, standing up for St. Martin people, and stepping up to the plate and defending St. Martin people. So I find myself in this situation that I decided, well, you know, something has to be done. And since something has to be done, and I feel that basically no one is standing up and defending St. Martiners the way I feel St. Martiners should be defended, I decided, well, you know, I'm going to step up to that plate and you know, do whatever I feel is necessary. And whatever the consequences are, I will accept the consequences. And it's a challenge for me because my personality basically is a personality of a very shy person. I've always been a shy person, and I never thought that I would ever find myself in a position, you know, as I am in now today. But then I realized that sometimes you have certain potentials in you, you have certain genes that you are not even aware of, and I think that goes for everybody, but that those genes and those potentials, they are activated due to circumstances, environmental circumstances, psychological circumstances. Whatever circumstances, they can just activate certain potentials in people, in persons, that at a given moment you realize for yourself that, you know, you are stronger than you initially thought. You know, so here am I. I'm open for a discussion with you, with the public at large, and I'm open to learn. I'm willing to learn, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's see. You're listening to World Sound and Power, 101.5 Radio FM, La Voix FM. So let's get it to this level now, where we stand in the realm of responsibilities, where we stand in the realm of what needed to be done as a leader, as someone who needs to take up the mantle, show responsibility, get involved, make decisions, refuse certain things that are not good for the people. The settings that we are living in here, actually in St. Martin, it is not that we can say that we have leadership. I said again, we have a second-hand party leadership. Mean to say our leaders in these French countries are working for another leader. It is not that you are working for the people. You are working for another leader who are not in the country and who has the people in bondage. And with the type of leadership that the people need, that type of leadership cannot satisfy the people because it's not meeting the wants and needs and necessities of the people. It is meeting the wants, needs, and necessities of that other leader. Which, as we also found ourselves in certain situation whereby leadership, instead of going directly towards the goal that the people set with a vision, we don't have that in place neither, because the type leadership that we have cannot have a vision, because the vision is set already in a constitution, coming again from France. So the situation thus as we in, our people will have to begin to open up their eye and see crystal clear what it requires to be a leader, what it requires to be a firm leader. A firm leader must know when something cometh at his flock, at his people, that is not in their benefit. He must be able to stand up and say no. I walk across the Caribbean, I can see somebody in Guadeloupe who said no. we could mention his name, Laureate. He said no. He go against the colonial way of ruling, of functioning as a leader. You can go to Martinique also, you can find Malsa, you can find Marijan. These is fellows who stand up against the colonial force, yet within the colonial realm. So we have a form of destabilization within how we function as a people. What I want to get to is, if it because we prolonged so long into this situation that it became a custom to us, that we became soft to the matter. We no longer seek proper leadership. We no longer seek leaders that are dedicated to the task, leaders who come with a vision. Because if you come with a vision, you cannot exercise the vision of another person. Yet we are finding ourselves in this situation here with visions that come from 8 or 200-300 kilometers away from us. I speak with the Chief Minister in Totola, not to say that Totola is an independent country. Totola is still British BVI. But what is real in Totola is that the BVI money don't have no power in Totola. And Totola leaders show leadership by demanding that the US, which they surround the whole island, be their first money in the country and not the British BV money. So it's certain characteristic I have seen in the Caribbean that I am actually condemning ours now and saying that if we don't change, if we don't go different, it is impossible for us to represent the people properly. Still your James.
Not a wise words there. I'm not sure if I am qualified to talk about what leadership is. You know, I only can talk about myself and what drives me. And sometimes I'm not even sure if I know exactly what drives me, but I have found out that there is something, or there are certain things that drives me to take a position. I'll give an example. When I was growing up, you know, and until not so long ago, my biggest passion basically was science. I love science. I always loved science, you know, and I studied science. And I realized at a certain moment while studying science and after I finished and graduated, I realized that science is fine, you know, it's great, but if you don't put it in context, then you could science can work against yourself.
Clearly.
And I realized, very quickly after I graduated, as I said, that for me, as much as I like science, science has to be, let's say, social relevant, you know, and it has to be, in particular, relevant to empowering my people. And if whatever science doesn't contribute towards empowering my people, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I discovered that while I love being a scientist, more than a scientist, I'm a proud St.Martin. I'm a proud St.Martin, and I take it extremely seriously, you know. And based on that, and perhaps, I'm not sure, combined with my scientific background, I realize that if something is working against me or my people, guess what? I'm not going to roll over and play dead or blame others or whatever. You know, I realize that God has given us all basically the same potentials, you know. So whatever intellectual potentials, for sure, others might have, and you could call the others colonial masters or powers or whatever, you know, I couldn't care less, you know. Really, it bothers me not, because just like they have their plans, you know, guess what? I have mine. So I basically do not have that approach of blaming anybody for whatever situation I find myself in. As a matter of fact, I have learned to enjoy pain, right? Because what pain does with me, right, is not make me go in a corner and cry. Pain makes me sharp. If you want to make me sharp, put me under pressure. You will regret it, you know. So there are different ways, you know, as a people, as a person, when you are, let's say, you are threatened by the intentions of others, you can roll over, play dead, blame others, and not realize that, listen, you know, you have certain potentials within yourself that you can use to your own benefit, or you can say, well, hey, I mean, you have your plans, good for you, bring it on. I have mine, and I'm going to take care of myself. So I never really focus too much, you know, on what others can do to me or do to my people, because in fact, I believe nobody does anything to you. It's you who allow whatever happens to you to happen to you. You know, I think it is a matter of practice. It's a matter of practice to realize, just like you practice the body, you know, you build the muscles. You build the muscles by putting the muscles under a lot of strain and stress, right? And they grow, they get stronger, right? You can develop the mind as well. You can develop the mind and build mind power, right? So I believe much more in empowering people to realize that we are all made in the image of God. So we are all godly-like. So you cannot believe in God and not believe in yourself. For me, that's an oxymoron. You see? So